Okay, so ready to dive into something a little different today.
Always up for a challenge. What are we looking at?
This one's called Tokyo Zero. Well, let me tell you, it's not your typical light reading.
Oh, how so?
Well, for starters, it's dark, like really dark and intense. We're talking near future Tokyo, but imagine it through a lens of, I don't know, cyberpunk anxiety and existential dread.
Okay, I'm intrigued. And we're tackling this deep dive with just the one source material, right? Just Tokyo Zero.
Exactly. Which gives us a lot to unpack, considering it's told from the perspective of this, well, he claims to be a terrorist, but he's also kind of a philosopher.
Interesting combination.
Yeah, his name is Billy. But the way he narrates, it's all first-person stream of consciousness. Like he's talking directly to you, the reader.
I can see how that would make for an intimate, if not slightly unsettling, reading experience.
Oh, it definitely is. And the writing itself, it's incredibly vivid, very descriptive. But it also makes you question what's real and what's not.
Ah, playing with perception then.
Yeah. Like there's this one line early on where Billy describes Tokyo. He says, transistors hummed and called the money here. Money is the excess energy of the dead third world, and as near to soul as we will see in this life.
Wow. Okay, so we're already diving deep into themes of technology, wealth disparity, maybe even spirituality.
All of that, and we're just scratching the surface. It's a wild ride. How are you feeling about this so far? Feeling up for it?
Honestly, I'm a little nervous, but in a good way. Like, I know this one's going to stay with me for a while.
That's how I felt too.
Hmm.
And trust me, it only gets wilder from here. You know, one thing that really struck me about this book, this Tokyo Zero, is how it makes you think about these big, almost scary questions about humanity. Like, are we really in control?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things that makes this book so unsettling, right? This feeling that humanity might be, I don't know, kind of on its way out, becoming obsolete.
Yeah, exactly. And not just because of technology, but in a bigger sense, like, we're just not the end goal anymore.
Right. It's like evolution has moved on and we're stuck in the past. And the book really explores this through a few different characters, right?
Totally. There's Billy, of course, struggling with his own, well, everything, really.
And then his father, who's this brilliant but kind of terrifying scientist who seems to think humans are just limited. Like we need to evolve beyond what we are.
It's giving me the chills just thinking about it. Oh, and then there's that whole thing with the BASTARD chess program. Still gives me shivers.
Right. Bioalgorithmic, strategic, tactical, and reactive defense. I mean, the name itself is ominous, isn't it?
Totally. Like,
Yeah.
if a machine can beat us at our own game,
Yeah,
what does that say about us?
exactly. And it ties into this bigger question of reality that the book keeps making you think about. Like, what's actually real? How do we even know?
Yeah, with all the shifting perspectives and those weird dream sequences. And Samsara.
Ah, yes, samsara. Who or what is samsara? We never really get a straight answer, do we?
I'm still not sure I have a clue, honestly.
And that's the point, right? Samsara embodies this constant ambiguity, this blurring of reality that runs through the whole book. It's like the author's saying, hey, don't get too comfortable thinking you know what's going on.
It's enough to make you dizzy. And then on top of all that, there's the symbolism in this book.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere you look, there's some symbol or image that makes you stop and think. Like that whole thing with the rising sun, right?
So powerful, right? The rising sun. It's Japan, yeah, but it's also this symbol of rebirth and hope.
Mm.
But then on the flip side, there's this whole other layer of, like, imperialism and destruction.
Exactly. Light and darkness, creation and destruction, it's all intertwined. And it plays into this idea that history isn't just in the past, right?
It's right here with us, influencing everything.
Mhm.
It's like this constant echo shaping the present.
Definitely. And for Billy, that weight of history is huge. His mom's death, the genocide in Cambodia, the sense that violence just follows him wherever he goes. It's heavy stuff.
Remember that part where the police officer gets killed right in front of him? It's brutal.
It's a turning point for him, for sure.
He even says something like, some of them are servants of interests that keep knowledge from the people as they have done since Atlantis. Many are not, and are compassionate, brave, and some of the best humanity has to offer.
It's almost like even in the darkest moments, he's still searching for some kind of hope, some sign that humanity isn't totally doomed.
I'm still processing everything, honestly. It's a lot to absorb, isn't it? What about you? What stuck with you the most?
You know, it's funny because you'd think with a book set in the future, in this high-tech Tokyo, it would feel I don't know, futuristic, right?
Hmm.
But it's the way it ties everything back to history, to the past, that I find so fascinating.
Because, like, no matter how far we advance, we're still haunted by the same things. Like, we're doomed to repeat the same mistakes.
Exactly. And I think that's what the author's trying to get at, right? That this fear of obsolescence, of losing our humanity, it's not new. It's been with us all along.
And Tokyo Zero definitely doesn't shy away from those darker aspects of human nature. If anything, it shines a light right on them.
Yeah, it's definitely not afraid to be provocative, to make you uncomfortable, but that's what makes it so compelling, right? It's not just entertainment, it's making you think.
And a lot of that comes down to the writing style, too, right? I mean, Billy's voice is so distinct, so in your
Oh,
face.
totally. It's almost like he's challenging you, the reader, to keep up with him.
And the way he describes Tokyo, too. You're right there with him, feeling that pulse of the city.
The neon lights, the crowds, that underlying hum of technology and the weight of history, like it's all pressing down on you. It's exhilarating and terrifying at the same time.
It definitely makes you wonder, would you embrace that chaos if you could? Or would you run for the hills?
Right. Would you get swept up in it all or try to fight against the current? And I think that's the question the book leaves us with, isn't it? Are we in control of our own destiny, or are we just along for the ride?
Especially with those idea viruses it keeps talking about. These concepts that take root in our minds and influence how we see the world.
It's like, are we really making our own choices, or are we being manipulated by forces we don't even understand?
So much to think about. I'm going to be chewing on this one for a while.
Me too. Definitely recommend giving it a read if you're up for a challenge. It's not always easy, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. And that's a wrap on another deep dive, folks. Thanks for joining us as we explore the unsettling world of Tokyo Zero. Until next time.